Welcome, 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 everybody. Today is Friday. We're going to do our best to build up some energy for the weekend. Try to enjoy ourselves away from work. Okay, so as usual, I'm going to focus on my involved breathing, right? Trying to stay all the movements connected to the breath. Mostly focusing on the exhale, driving the air out, getting the stomach to come in on the exhales. This will be another flowing movement, general, all-purpose class. So just follow along, and most important, stay connected to the breathing, okay? Always breathing out, 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 out. Good, bouncing, shaking. Bringing down and up, bending the knees, being comfortable. Still just warming up here. Kicking out the legs. Kicking to the sides, shaking the arms out. We're going to wash each leg down and up a few times. Maybe the other side. And back. Good, shimmying up, shimmying back up. Balancing, twisting, balancing in the knees, the heels are down. And back to the flowing movement we started with, right? Turning the arms in and over to come across, right? And then up and under to come back across. And the arms just follow each other through. Good, big hugging the body. Twisting, twisting now. Good, opening the chest and hitting, eating. Try to use very long arms here, and just go gently back to try to catch them stretching the chest. Don't throw so aggressively that you feel something uncomfortable in the front of the shoulder, right? We're not trying to just grossly hyperextend the arms. Try to move in a way that you gradually feel a stretch deeper and deeper, right? I'm just looking what's comfortable, not just trying to slam open the shoulders. We don't need that. Just move back enough that you feel some kind of pull through the chest. Trying different angles, leaning over. Mostly I keep the arms low here. I don't like to hang out up here. It's pretty stressful on the upper back. So I get up by the end, but you see the trajectory of the arms is mostly down then up, and I just use the swinging momentum to get there. And so this should feel pretty relieving for the chest and the upper back. If you find this is making tension in the neck, you're probably just lifting the arms too high. Let them be more lazy. Good. One arm at a time now. I'm going to go for the full guitar. You see like a rock star just. Right, swing the arm out there. Good, coming back, take it to the other side. First developing just the swing. Make the air guitar. Good. Easy bouncing hopping now. Time to open up the stomach and the hips a little bit. Some twisting, maybe each leg twisting. Classic twist. Again, you hear it all the time, breathing out. Good stretch for the stomach, reaching up. Good. Leaning forward, going under the ribs. Try to get some massage inside of the stomach. Oh, God. Oh, this is painful. Okay, it would appear that my liver is a little bit sensitive today. Don't ask me why. I wasn't drinking. Oh, gosh. Okay, so sometimes I feel on the right side when I get the sensitivity here, reaching under the ribs. I try to just collapse and use an upward movement with the gentle exhale. So as I breathe out, the ab's going to come up, the diaphragm's going up. This pulls the liver up and makes a little movement for the liver. I'm just going to help lift this a little bit as I go. Maybe I support myself even more so I don't have to hold any weight. Just sinking deeper, a couple of exhales. Good. Honestly, it's a little much less sensitive now. So something more in the middle now is getting me over. Just repeat that process here. Even if you don't have sensitivity, it's always good to move the organs around inside the cavity there. Try to get under the ribs a little bit, move the diaphragm. If you feel you cannot reach under the ribs, right, then you really have a lot of tension and you're probably just pushing yourself out. Either it's too sensitive or you're just not used to relaxing the abs and diaphragm. Okay, so if that was difficult for you, I definitely encourage working through this area. It's super important to be able to get under the ribs to massage the organs. Okay. Oh, good. The breath's a little bit more open on this side now. Good, developing the arms now into a twisting movement. The arms stay the same, the body twists. Swinging now. Good, bending the knees, breathing out and down, rising up, breathing in. Going to the toes. Good, sinking back, stretching each leg. Just going down. Don't think too much about the stretch, but we're just gonna wash the knee area. Good. Coming out of this, we take it to the other side. Good. Bouncing through the legs again. Turning the feet in and out as you hop. Oh, good. Start some easy kicking. Here comes my cover photo. Okay, again, I use the step, step, step. Step, step. Step, step, step. Boom. Good. Easy hopping, easy hopping. Now transitioning to one leg. Covering more ground. Less ground. Easy swinging. Couple of Heisman poses. Good. Swinging the leg in front of the body. Oops, lost my balance there. Nothing high, just feeling the swing of the leg. Maybe today I'm going to hold the ball. Well, let's go to the other side. Excellent. Easy light hopping. I'm going to stretch out the front of the legs. Yeah, remember, squeezing the butt here, pushing the knee back. Good. I'm going to do the twist, bending over to 90 degrees. I'm twisting up and down. Good. Shimmy, shimmy, shimmy. Coming up. Get some movement into the shoulders here. Starting to squeeze the eyes on the exhales. Up and back with the shoulders. Good. Taking the hands, massaging above the ears. And down to the base of the skull. Good. Raking the neck. Easy massage. Good. I want to just take the arms behind the back, clasping the hands. Bridge down just enough, not the usual stretch where we're feeling all the way back, just enough that the shoulder blades aren't rolled forward. So we're just pulling a little bit down. Okay, a little bit straight down with the hand should be enough. Okay, not popping the chest, just anchoring the shoulder blade. And from here, take the circles for the neck. Keep reaching down slightly with the hands. This is my warm-up for my hardcore set when I start to do head banging with my hair. I don't want to pull my neck, so I need to warm up well. Good God, this hair is in my mouth and hips. Good, I'm going to take one side of the neck now. I need to stretch both, like I said. Once a week, I need to do a good stretch for the neck. So again, anchoring the shoulders, and boom, here I feel something very specific. And I have enough sense of the body to know this is one of the scaling muscles going into my top rib that I feel this restriction in. So I'm going to use some of the breathing to really force the upper ribs to close away from the neck, right? As I force the air out, it's going to drive the upper ribs down, and that's going to make even more of a stretch as the neck peels away from the ribs moving down. Here we go. really focusing my energy to collapse the lung on the top right. Squeezing in the air. Good. I'm just going to take it over to the other side, do exactly the same business. Ooh. So not only am I trying to force the air out of the upper part of the lungs, but on the inhale, I'm also trying to inflate those a lot. And get the upper chest breathing to happen. And then deflate on the exhale. Because I'm just trying to produce as much movement on this end of the stretch as I can. So that way that expansion of the ribs is going to push my collarbone open and the shoulder blade open. And that's going to make more of a stretch in one direction. Right, I'm going to get more of the trapezius stretch because it's going to force the collarbone open a little bit. And then as I exhale, I'm going to get more of the scalene stretch as I force the ribs down. It takes a little bit of practice to feel the difference and adjust the head angle. If you want more of the upper trapezius, you need to look down a little bit like you're trying to get into your armpit. Or if you want more of the scalenes, you need a little bit more side flexion and tilting back slightly, maybe to look over this direction, right? As if you were trying to peel open this element rather than this element, right? And if we want more of the sternocleidomastoid, the tilting muscle, then we need a lot more rotation and tilting back. So that's more like looking at the ceiling. This is more like the scalene muscles in here. This is more like trapezius here, right? Or we can do what we usually do, anchor and combine all of them with gentle movement, hitting all of the aspects of the neck in one shot like this. Don't be afraid to look farther up than you think. You're not going to break your neck. You're probably just going to get a big stretch in the SCM muscle. Okay, let's do a quick check of our rotation of the neck, to be honest with ourselves, so we know on Monday we can check in and see what to improve up here. So what I like to do is just check the baseline rotation when I turn my head one way. It feels a certain way, and when I turn the other. This is obviously more restricted for me. I think this doesn't turn as far for me to the left. Maybe you can see that or not in the video. But what's more important to me is if I slow the movement down and if I look from the side, if you run into a compensation with the neck turn, it's not going to look like mine just did. Mine looks more like an owl on the side. You're going to get something more like going away from it, tilting back for it. Right? Or you may even find yourself doing something like this way or to any kind of deviation away from down the middle. Right? So to keep the neck really still and just try to pivot. That's about my limit there. I do the same on this side. Oh, no good, right? I can still crank it farther, no problem. But somewhere along there, I'm skipping a large portion of movement in my upper vertebrae here. So I'm probably going to work this weekend on getting my neck rotation to the left to be better. So check yourself and be honest about whether your neck is compensating at all. It should take just as little effort to turn one way as the other. And if you move very subtly, I can kind of feel when I go to the right, it stays level. When I go to the left, my restriction, it wants to tilt away. Right? So I probably need to try to keep the head more level as I rotate through. Okay, so that's how I'm going to work on it this weekend. And I'll see you guys all on Monday, okay? Have an enjoyable time. Bye-bye.